what's up? How you doing? Let's go. It's all Tyler has to write, or that's all Kyler has to write, and I start doing, let's go. What? Yeah, this is softball, and this is a home run. Call it pigeon. All right, I'm late. Sorry. The live stream of the Eric Zane Show podcast. As you know, the show happens every day live. Brought to you, Terrytown RV. Thank you to them. They're on division between 68th and 76th Street. They just agreed to sign up for another quarter. I've duped these people for yet another 3 months. No, I'm just kidding. I actually moved the inventory. Terrytown RV, 68th Street. I'm sorry, division between 68 and 76. If you need a camper, travel trailer, sound like Trump, fifth wheel motorhome, you call upon them. Find the one you like, and then go there and check it out. If you want me to break the ice for you, I'll do that as well. Just reach out and say, hey, Zane, who do I talk to? Over at Terrytown RV. I say, I got you. I got your back. Thank you to Terrytown RV. To Madre Azuna Puta, that, of course, is Joe Martinez, A&E Heating and Cooling, the creator of Forbidden Spanish on this show. If you get in the weeds, you need to go ahead and call upon Joe Martinez, 616-516-8579 for a install, new equipment, old equipment, repair, after-hour service call, whatever it may be. Call upon them. Thank you very much to A&E Heating and Cooling. Again, use the coupon code to Madre Azuna Puta. When you reach out to Joe Martinez, text that to him, and you'll save big money. That may or may not be true. This show comes to you each and every day from the Metalworks Body Shop Fear Bunker Studio. It is the 5th of August, 2020. The Eric Zane Show podcast is now.
And now, here's a guy who has never won a congeniality award at any radio station anywhere. I will fight you in the streets. It's the Eric Zane Show podcast with your host, Eric Zane.
Thank you, Johnny. Welcome into the Eric Zane Show podcast. This is a daily show where I, through rants and bad words, cover news, nonsense, and my personal adventures. I appreciate you being here. I've got some co-workers in the studio with me right now. They are O'Neill and Bruce. It's been a hell of a dog day already. Damn it. I don't know what is going on. As we work our way through the week. This week in particular, I have had more trouble. I keep tripping up over as to what day I'm on. I'm like yesterday, at some point yesterday, I was like, wait a minute, is today Wednesday? No, today's Tuesday. And then today I was like, wait, today is Wednesday? Oh my God, it's already Wednesday? It's like, oh, it's just been ever since I took that time off for the trip to Tennessee, it's like there hasn't been a moment to even blink, because that trip ended. And then I was here for one day, and then if you remember, I drove to my dad's house in the RV, parked it there, and then took care of my mother for that week, getting her to the radiation treatments. So that was all a blur. It was at that time that I started to talk to Ben. That's about when that all started. And then back for... God, now I'm losing track. I think a week? Maybe two. And then last week, Davey died. So that it was 1 week of nothing big or, gigantic. And then last week, with the passing of Davey, that made everything kind of all smashed together. And then this week, Diana gone. So, and, trying to adjust. It's just been a whirlwind, but nothing we can't handle. That's just part of the game, I guess. Just been quite a quite an adventure. Ups and downs, primarily down right now because of the passing of David. But tomorrow is the day that he'll be laid to rest. So there will be a best of show tomorrow. I got to get that in order today. If you have anything that I've done on this podcast that you think, hey, man, I want to go, I want to hear that again, can you reach out to me, eric@ericzaneshow.com. Otherwise, I'll just be kind of like picking and choosing things to get through on a best of program. Okay, you're probably wondering why I have this thing that looks like a baton if you're running like the mile relay. I'll explain that in a second. I don't want to start jumbling you with all this crazy shit that's going on right now in this house. But first of all, I want to go over what the hell we're talking about today. First of all, Dear Meathead happens in about 45 minutes. Dear Meathead is brought to you each week by JM Synthetics. They sell AMSOIL. That's who's bringing you Dear Meathead. I want you to reach out with a question for Dad. I'm not going to lie. I'm lean on the questions. Reach out, eric@ericzaneshow.com if you have a question for Dad on Dear Meathead. All right. A massive explosion in Beirut, Lebanon. I was on the Patreon yesterday, and somebody tipped me off. I think it was Dirk, and I'm like, wow. If someone has taken the time to point that out to me on how big it was, while I'm in mid-thought, it must be big. So I looked it up, and he was 100% right. We must talk about this. Holy moly. A dude in Tanzania, which is a nation on the continent of Africa, unless I'm getting this wrong. I'm pretty sure. This guy strikes it rich again. They have a government program in Tanzania, and the guy who runs the show in Tanzania, he said, hey, if you find any tanzanite, which is a gem, found only in Tanzania, thus the name Tanzanite, we need Tanzanite. I don't know what the hell they need it for, but they said, we're paying big money. So everybody starts like digging holes in their backyard. Well, this one dude has done it, and he strikes it rich again. And boy, does he need the cash. I'll explain that. Trump. Oh, man, here's the thing. This is nothing about Trump's well-being. This is nothing about Trump being a doofus. This is nothing about anything like that. I try not to play those generalizations about anything political, okay? But on a case-by-case basis, if somebody does something that needs to be put into the spotlight, you better believe I am going to do that. I am not going to shy away from it. I don't care who says it. How many times have we on this show talked about the ridiculous gaffes that Biden has made over time when he said
You're full of shit.
to that kid,
Shush.
when he shushed that lady, look, fat, look, here's the deal.
Look, fat, look, here's the deal.
When he was talking to that fat-ass guy in Iowa, and instead of saying, look, pal, here's the deal, he saw how fat the guy was, and he replaced the word pal with fat. Look, fat, look, here's the deal.
Look, fat, look, here's the deal.
Remember how those school kids were like, oh, my God, he just called that guy fat.
Look, fat, look, here's the deal.
Trump yesterday. Fuck. So bad. It was 15 seconds of audio, and he's reading a statement about this bipartisan agreement to provide this huge amount of funding for the national parks. All right, so everybody's like, oh, way to go. Hey, we agree. Yeah, all right, good. All right, nice job. Trump, oh, Jesus. Wait till you hear what happened here. This is rough. I actually have the audio of it. More corona-related terrible behavior as a guy started his day by wanting to buy some cigars and ended it with being charged with over 20 felonies. I'll detail that for you. Detroit Lions All-Pro quarterback Matt Stafford does not, I repeat, does not have COVID-19. Wait, what? What happened? He does not have it, and his wife is speaking out about it. She is pissed. Mrs. Stafford is kicking ass. I don't know. I'm not sure. I kind of see where she's coming from, but there's a couple of things that might be a little weird about it. I don't know. The head football coach of the TCU Horned Frogs, Texas Christian. Now, unless you're a sport head, you don't know who this guy is. Okay, I couldn't tell you the names of 5 college football coaches. Most, some of you can. Okay, but I had never heard of Gary Patterson. Now, if I find out the name of a college football coach, it's probably because they didn't do something excellent. It's because they did something stupid. Gary Patterson is on an apology tour after the world learns about his love of the N-word. I think he did both hard R and with the A at the end, which, they're both terrible. And look, I don't know why it is, but for some reason, for me personally, I shrug when a black dude says the N-word. For some reason, it does not resonate with me in any way. But man, do I cringe and get scared when it flies out of the mouth of a white dude. Holy shit. Man, it's like head for the hills. That is like kryptonite to Superman, okay? And anybody who lets that fly, that is a rough way to go. That is not going to work out for you. And who knew the silly Schwarzenegger cop comedy Kindergarten Cop could be so polarizing? So that is, you won't believe this. That film came out in 1990, and the premise is Arnold Schwarzenegger is a cop, and he's trying, I think, you know what? I'll save it for when I talk about it. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. This morning, though, first of all, my hands are killing me. And you know what? In my self-diagnosis, I don't know if I necessarily have, what do you call it? Carpal tunnel syndrome, because the symptoms aren't matching up. Carpal tunnel syndrome has a certain set of variables, but I think the bottom of my hand just hurts from resting it on this table all day. And so somebody suggested that I elevate my hand. I think it was Kenny, and he said there's a device you can order, and I haven't yet ordered it, but I'm going to today because this is killing me. I got to keep the bottom of my hand from resting on the table when I'm using the keyboard. So I was sitting there walking around the house, and I go, well, I need something to do it temporarily until I get this thing ordered and delivered to the house. What do I do? But I think I found something that might work just as well. And I might not even need to order it. All right, so what this is when you're in the swimming pool, you order these. It's like a mini super soaker. And this deal kind of like, you draw it back and it sucks the water in, and then you push it forward and the water goes flying out at 8 million miles an hour through this very small hole in the end of it. And you use it in the pool, or maybe running around the house, have a big, or not in the house, outside of the house, have a big water fight. Well, it's perfect, and it's like elevating my wrist here, and I think it's going to help, because damn it, does this hurt? Who knew that sitting at a computer for 10 hours a day could be so damn damaging? I guess it kind of makes sense, but when you rest the bottom of the hand right where the hand meets the wrist, this big bony spot here, it just is sore as shit, and it's getting worse. I'm like, damn it. And I think the only way to finally get it to stop hurting is to stop the contact between the hand and this table, because just that amount of pressure on it is just wreaking havoc. God. Okay, I got commissioned to help out at the funeral. I have to speak. Well, I plan on speaking anyway. This is going to be the type of memorial service where somebody kind of keeps it moving, and people come up and say a few words about the deceased. There is not a religious element to it. That's just the way it worked out. But so there's that. I plan on kind of like trying to keep the people coming up to the podium and talking about Diana's brother David, almost like in an MC type of fashion. But then I was asked to read something by a person who can't be there, and so that's the job before me, and so that'll be happening tomorrow for that funeral. Again, thanks a bunch for all the nice comments and the thoughts and prayers and all that stuff that you guys have put forth. It's really been great. So Diana is. Man, she was at her wit's end yesterday cleaning out that place because these guys lived, David and Kevin, and it was like a bachelor pad. I mean, it was for lack of a better term, it was a mess. So, quite frankly, Diana yesterday, because Kevin cannot go up and down the steps, she had to clean out the place. And so everything was thrown away. Everything. There wasn't a bit saved. There was like a radio. And these guys lived pretty simply, and there was some evidence that I'm going to spare you the details on. There's some evidence that David was very ill, that there was something wrong with him. And I'm just going to leave that there without going into any further detail. But there was definitely a problem. And I think this all goes back to my brother-in-law's for years he's always like, I'd rather not deal with whatever. That could be confrontation, that could be conversation, going to the doctor. This is kind of like how he operated. And I think ultimately it killed him because he never, ever, ever went to the doctor. Never a checkup, never as an adult, never a physical, nada. And I'm reasonably sure that led to his undoing. So go to the doctor, please. Speaking of doctor care, it was Eric and Daisy today, and I'm trying to get this dog to take her medicine. Now, as I've talked about, she's recovering from this surgery to repair her leg, and she's almost to the end of taking her medicines. In her recovery. But it's very important that the dog takes all of the medicine, especially the antibiotics, to ward off any type of infection because, sometimes that happens as a complication from the surgery. So it's super important the dog get the antibiotics. Now, she, for some reason, is not falling for any of the tricks to give her medicine. And so I detailed with you how she's not even eating her dog food right now. I don't know what the hell her problem is. And so I opened up another can of Dinty Moore stew, which she ate the last time. I go, well, I don't have any dog food. I didn't get a chance to go out and get it yesterday. Let's go with the people food. All dogs love people food, for God's sake. And so I mix a half a can of stew, and I put the medicine into it. And all right, great. And I leave the room. She starts eating it. I come back and she won't eat. I'm like, oh, come on. Now I've had a hell of a time getting this dog to take medicine, so I have to pick the medicine out of the thing, and I'm like, all right, well, I got to get it down her throat. So I do the old peanut butter trick, which is super messy, and basically she just starts licking it, but she won't even take that now. She's sick of all of my tricks. She won't even do it. So I'm trying to put it on her tongue, and she's like, get away from me. And then I just smear it on her tongue, and she hates that now. And now she's pissed. So she's growling at me, and then she somehow manages with the pill, which is in the peanut butter now. The pill had been sitting in the Dinty Moore stew, and there was enough moisture that it kind of the capsules. How they once they get exposed to moisture, they weaken and then they burst open and the medicine comes out. The stupid antibiotic capsule bursts, so all the medicine just it falls out of her mouth like snow. And I'm like, So she's not getting the medicine. I'm like, oh fuck, I got to start over. So I go get another pill. I put it in the peanut butter. She's like, fuck no, and put it on her tongue. She manages to get the pill away from the peanut butter, spits it out, lands on the carpet. Now she's drooling all over the place. There's peanut butter all over her face, peanut butter all over my hand. The other dogs, O'Neill and Bruce, are like trying to get at the peanut butter. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. So then I get pissed and I grab the pill and I gotta actually place it down her throat. And that's a bitch. She's got all this tissue, soft tissue in her face. Everything's fat. You know you got a fat dog when the roof of the dog's mouth is fat. How can the roof of the mouth be fat? So I'm like, and she's like, and so she had to take 2 anti-anxiety medicines, 2 pain pills, and 2 antibiotic pills. So I get 1 antibiotic pill down. And it took forever. And she hates me. She's trying to run away. She's all bummed out and drooling and snarling and snotting and spitting. And then I managed somehow to get the second one down. It took forever. And then I was like, screw it. These next 4 are pain pills. You don't get the pain pills. Sorry. But, oh, my gosh, just an ordeal. This dog. And then she won't eat. I don't know what the deal is, so I got to go to the store today and maybe I try some soft dog food. I mean, if she's not going to eat the Dinty Moore stew, which, on a quality level, Dinty Moore stew is better than any dog food, right? I mean, doesn't that make sense? I mean, if you had to put like a taste test of, Alpo or whatever wet dog food next to Dinty Moore stew, you would think the dog would choose Dinty Moore stew every time, right? I don't know. We'll find out. But dog's not eating. And actually not the worst thing right now because she's massively overweight. She's about 10 pounds over, which is causing the vet to say, hey, what are you doing over there? So, all right. That's basically how the day started today. Now, the open of the Eric Zane Show podcast. As you know, we've got these amazing sponsors, TC Paintball, tcpaintballgr.com. We have an event, which I have not yet created an invite for, but I will. August 19th, Paintball War number 9, the Dog Days of Paint. Happens at TC Paintball, outdoors. It is a second and third shift party, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. We'll have a pizza party before, and man, it's going to be great. I truly love the whole outdoor thing at TC Paintball, and just what the doctor ordered, because had Rick not, he's decided to go the route of building an outdoor facility way before COVID-19. Like a year before, he started the process of having the outdoor arrangement, and COVID did not exist. There was no coronavirus, and thank God he did that, because having people indoors sometimes doesn't jive with executive orders. So now Rick is outdoors, and you got the sun and the wind, and the governor's saying, oh, I love you. This he can stay open because he's outdoors, okay? So the governor loves Rick. She says, if you're going to play paintball, you got to play it at TC Paintball. Some of you might say, actually, Rick probably doesn't like that endorsement, I'm guessing. But anyway, I made all that up. TC Paintball, if you want to book a party, they're open all the time, of course. Just check them out at tcpaintballgr.com. Get the hours and book a party at TC Paintball, and I'll see you there for Paintball War number 9, the Dog Days of Paint, Wednesday, the 19th of August. We got Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid, along 44th Street, just east of 131. The street there is Stafford, a couple blocks east of 131. And, man, I'm telling you, they want to fix your car, domestic, Asian, European, they do it all. Okay? Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid. And don't just take my word for it. Go to their website, irvines.com, and check out all the Google reviews, man. Absolutely fantastic. And if you want, you can just call them at 616-532-6600. That's 616-532-6600. I was like, am I saying the number wrong? I can't read the numbers. Thank you to them. I love the way they do business. They send you an email. Here's what's wrong with your car. Please approve. Yes, yes, yes. Boom. Car's fixed. Thank you to Irvine's. JM Synthetics. If you are a DIY pro with your various lubricants, gear oils, maybe synthetic motor oil, they invented it all at JM Synthetics. JMSynthetics.com. Okay? check out Zaniac Jason's page at jmsynthetics.com and then buy your AMSoil through him. You can also get it in person at Ionia Outdoors. He's got a display set up there. But thank you very much to JM Synthetics. I had the opportunity to look at, what do you call it? Text messages. And that's probably a bad thing for doing a podcast. In just a little while, I'm going to bring Dad in for Dear Meathead. Looking forward to that, and I need questions. Okay? You can reach out, Eric at ericzaneshow.com with a question for Dear Meathead. Looking forward to that. I'm actually going to call Dad on the phone and do the old hold it up to the microphone thing again. I haven't done that in a while. I've normally used the iPad, but since I've freed up the use of the phone since I made the camera switch, it works out better. Less expensive, too. Okay, so I tell you, if you have not yet seen what happened in Beirut, Lebanon yesterday, wow, what a thing. And right away, the world was like, what exactly happened there? And I'm not sure we even know yet. But there's a port right in Beirut. And so the video starts, and there's so many different angles of this explosion. It's ridiculous. So a fire somehow broke out, and you see a huge plume of like gray smoke. And then there's a lot of small flashes happening within the smoke, and then an explosion that looked like it was from a blockbuster Hollywood film. An absolute mushroom cloud. You know that one famous photo when they tested like the neutron bomb, and you see it from the distance, this big mushroom cloud? It looked like that, except you watch it actually happen. And whoever's shooting video, and I saw, again, multiple cameras. I'm like, there was one guy so close, I'm like, there's no way this guy's not dead. Somebody walked by, I had to pick up the phone and said, I'm using this footage because the guy was so close to it. And what you're seeing there, because depending on how close the person who's shooting the image is, if they're far away, you see it, and then 1, 2, 3, and then kablamo, because the sound is traveling slower than what is being seen. And oh boy, that shockwave, you actually see the shockwave traveling because of all of the dust, debris, and everything that it pushes out in that mushroom cloud. That was something to behold. And so right away, everybody's speculating what happened here. And I haven't yet seen anything that says this is what happened. Now, as it goes, this pile of rubble now, and so many people are hurt and killed. Over half the city of Beirut, which is a massive city, is damaged in the blast. It killed at least 100 and wounded 4,000 people. And I mean, you see something like this, and you're in a spot in the world where there's always something shitty happening, and right away everybody's like, this has got to be a terror attack of some type. Something's going on. And I played something on Patreon yesterday, and they were quick to jump right on board with that on NBC about how some Hezbollah dude or something like that is on trial. And so right away they're trying to weave a terror-related thread, but I haven't heard a damn thing about what actually is going on. I don't think they know. There was, I was watching and I saw some comments about, oh yeah, that's a fireworks factory. And people are like, that's not a fireworks factory. Those don't explode like that. And if you notice when the thing blew up, when the big mushroom cloud happened, the smoke turned like red. It was like crimson colored. And now I'm hearing that was a fertilizer bomb. Well, not one that was set, but there was at that port, there had been a gigantic abandoned load or confiscated load of ammonium nitrate, and it had been being stored in part of the port. And the theory is that somehow through some means a fire broke out and then it aggressively took over. And it says here, a letter was sent to Russian journalists by Rosas, former captain in 2014, complained about being held hostage aboard a ship. The Beirut authorities, quote, don't want an abandoned ship at port, especially with a cargo of explosives, which is what ammonium nitrate is. That is a floating bomb, and the crew is hostage aboard this bomb. The crew, mostly comprised of Ukrainian sailors, were held aboard the ship for nearly a year before they were released. Back when this happened, the ammonium nitrate was confiscated and held at the port in a warehouse. So that is what is being speculated as the cause for that. But man, you had people from like across the bay shooting video and then just like, oh wow, this is a fire, and then all of a sudden kablamo, and then that enormous shockwave. You've never seen anything like it. No one's eyes have ever seen anything like that. I mean, seriously, when you think about it, we haven't seen anything quite like this since like 9/11, with that type of explosions and just gigantic fireballs happening. But I would say that this actual explosion was bigger than any of the fireballs that happened on 9/11 when planes hit buildings. I mean, it was that large. And frankly, when I see that only 100 people were killed, when I saw the explosion, I was like, well, everyone's dead. There's no way that they're not dead. That shockwave was so gigantic. Holy cow. If you have not yet seen it, what I'll do is I'll link it up, of course, in the comments of the audio podcast, and it'll be on In the News of EricZaneShow.com. Okay, so yesterday, I got some audio I want to play for you. It involves Trump, and boy, is this a mess. Damn it. And, it's interesting because, too often radio shows, they're scared to play clips of the president. They're afraid that everybody's going to lose their shit because you're basically highlighting something that's unbelievably silly, and it's showing that he's not prepared. He didn't read, and hell, I'm definitely going to exploit that. So this is how it went. Trump is speaking in front of people about this damn bill to infuse the national parks with cash. It is a bipartisan agreement between both parties, so they agreed on something. And Trump is talking about the magnitude of this bill, so that's good. But I oftentimes struggle with him when he's reading, because when he's reading it oftentimes is just he's going through the motions, and it doesn't sound like there's anything. Well, he's reading, and he doesn't inflect. He doesn't do well. He doesn't read it like he's talking, because you can pull that off. I mean, like if I'm reading the intro of today's show, I actually wrote it. So if I read it word for word, if I read, "Dear Meathead, today brought to you by JM Synthetics, massive explosion in Beirut, Lebanon. A dude in Tanzania strikes it rich again after digging up a rare gemstone." You'd be like, what is wrong with him? Why is he doing that? If I went that route, that would not be good. But if I said, all right, "Dear Meathead, today it's brought to you by JM Synthetics. There was a massive explosion in Beirut, Lebanon. We got to talk about that. A dude in Tanzania strikes it rich again after digging up a rare gemstone." I'm kind of like using the words as a guide. Now, if he would have read it ahead of time and he practiced, he would have no problem. Because then not only would he be emphasizing correctly and making it sound nice, because this is a great thing. He should be excited about this. He would know how to say all of the big words. See if you can figure out the problem with this.
We want every American child to have access to pristine outdoor spaces. When young Americans experience the breathtaking beauty of the Grand Canyon, when their eyes widen in amazement as Old Faithful bursts into the sky, when they gaze upon Yosemite's towering sequoias, their love of country grows stronger, and they know that every American has truly a duty to preserve this wondrous inheritance And that's what they're doing, and that's what we're doing. We're preserving an incredible inheritance.
Okay. Well, let's just start with the obvious. Who sees YOSEMITE? Who in the world sees did I say C? YOSEMITE? When you look at it, YOSEMITE, who says Yosemite? And of all the things, Semite. How many times have people said, "Oh yeah, he's a bigot," and he says Yosemite? Yosemite? He says Yosemite, and then he realizes he murdered it, so he said Yosemite. Wait, let's back it up.
We want every American person to the sky. When they gaze upon Yosemites, towering sequoias, their love of country grows stronger, and they know that every American has truly a duty to preserve this wondrous inheritance.
Yeah.
And that's what they're
doing. And then he
doing.
murders inheritance by saying inheritance.
Inheritance. And that's what we're doing. We're preserving an incredible inheritance.
I think he tried to fix it there with that second one. You know, for me, when I murder a word and then realize it, and he realized it there, you're so much better off going, "Oh, wow, listen to that. Did you hear that? I just murdered that. Oh, that's embarrassing." Everybody would have gotten a laugh. They would have been charmed, but no, you're sitting there reading it, going through the motions. You're not really putting anything behind it. You're not really putting anything behind it. Yosemite. Yosemite? How the fuck can an educated individual say Yosemite when it's Yosemite? Oh, so bad. My God.
We want every American child to have access. Yosemites.
Oh.
Yosemites.
Look, Fat, look, here's the deal.
Inheritance.
Really rough. Come on, man. You can do better than that. I mean, I've said it many times. That's not enough to make me not vote for him. I'm going to vote for the guy, but that was so fucked. You can't. Who doesn't know it's Yosemite? All right. Well, I'll be following on the next speech. Hopefully, can you imagine if he gets done with that, and does he say anything? Does he look around? I mean, if you're in Trump's inner circle, no one there probably has the nerve to say, "Mr. President, you murdered that word." I don't know. Maybe he doesn't strike me as the type of guy that takes it well. If he steps in it, he doesn't strike me as the type of guy who's going to roll with it. But I mean, maybe he'd surprise me. Maybe he'd get down with it and say, "Man, did you guys hear I murdered that word? Oh, that was great. Oh, what an idiot I am." He doesn't strike me. He strikes me as a guy who's way concerned about how it looks. Hey, did I say that right when I said it the second time?
Yosemites.
No, it's definitely not Yosemite. It's not the second one. It's neither of those. It's Yosemite. He's like, "Well, you got to make sure that..." No, you got to make sure you read this shit. You're the president of the United States. You got to read it. You got to know it upside down, backwards, forwards. And you murdering it like that is just hysterical. Fantastic.
Yosemites, inheritance.
Whew. All right. Well, we have that forever and ever. More coming up, including Dear Meathead. I want you to reach out, eric@ericzaneshow.com, if you have a question for Dad. Where are we on that? See if we got any questions for Dad. Looking lean. Oh, boy. Let's see. Sean says, "Can I request a retelling of a story? I'd really like you to reflect on the time you dropped the Game of Thrones book in the outhouse. All I remember is you laughed till I cried." I think you might mean I laughed till I cried. I don't know, maybe not. "It was so damn funny." I don't know. For me, it's kind of like tough to recapture that magic. Maybe. but I was hoping for something more along the lines of, Sean, from the podcast that you may have heard that I could replay for you, but maybe. We'll see. Reach out, Eric at ericzaneshow.com if you have questions on Deer Meathead. I see a few of them rolling in. If you haven't already tried this, Tyler writes, you could break open the capsule or crush the pill if it's not in a capsule and mix the powder into the wet food or whatever you're trying to get. Oh, that's brilliant. I put a layer of non-medicine food over the top, too, to try and cover the smell of the medicine so they don't think anything is up. Yeah, I guess I could do that. Also, my dogs love the milk bone pill pouches. Tried them. She's like, fuck no, not doing it. No. That you've tried, but mine swallow those things whole usually, and they think they're getting an awesome treat. Yeah, I've tried it all. So I'm going to try the old sprinkle it on the food though. But now I got to get her to like a food, Let's see. Rick Steinebach. Hey, I said it right. I always say Rick Steinbach from TC Paintball, but it's actually Steinebach. He says, hey, man, I had the carpal tunnel surgery. I can tell you a bit about it. Well, if I were to call you and tell you about it, you got to make sure you speak slowly. But damn, does this bug me? But I don't know if I have it. That's the thing. I might have to go to the doc. I don't think, because people said that when you tap on the nerve there, you should feel like tingling in your hand. And I'm not feeling that right now. It's just sore. So, all right, more coming up, including Dear Meathead. Again, Eric at ericzaneshow.com on the Green Clean Technologies inbox. So, what is Green Clean Technologies? They clean data centers. You've got servers inside of your great business that you have. Could be a bank, could be a hospital, could be a limo company. Whatever it is, with all of those servers working very hard, you want to make sure that the data center stays clean. That's what Green Clean Technologies does. They go in and they use their expertise to clean that place. There's a lot more to it than just, taking a broom to the place and some duster. Call up Zaniac Will, 989-560-7272, 989-560-7272 for Green Clean Technologies. They clean data centers. Reach out to them or just go to greencleantechnologies.com. Thank you. Speaking of tech, Blue Frost IT for your small or medium-sized business. Yeah, I know. You got your workers, you got all your equipment for whatever business you're in, but what happens if your tech goes south? These folks at Green Clean at Blue Frost IT, they do an amazing job in being your managed IT service provider, and you must sign up for their services. So you get going every month, and then you pay them. They're constantly checking on your equipment, making sure that you're good to go. Because if you go get in the weeds and you're starting from scratch at like who to call, that is time, that is money, and with all of that time where you're not doing business, well, that's really bad for your business. And let's face it, we're in a point in time when you can't be wasting time trying to get your tech set up. You've had a lot of time to not earn any money with the pandemic, so do plug into the folks at Blue Frost IT. You need a mortgage before you go looking for the house, and the mortgage professionals' interest rates are at an all-time low right now. How? I don't know. It seems like every time I turn around, I'm seeing more and more news about low rates. And the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage want to get you into a loan. Call them up. Check them out online. In fact, if you go to my website, ericzaneshow.com, and click right on their logo in the top sponsor scroll, you'll go right to their website. NMLS number 3035. They want you in a mortgage before you look for a home. Could be a refi, could be your first mortgage. That's who they really cater to. They cater to everybody, but some mortgage companies, they don't want to deal with somebody on a first-time mortgage. Mario's like, well, bring me those people. I want to help them. Okay? He'll answer all of your questions. And, a lot of times people are like, well, I'm afraid this is a dumb question. Well, don't be worried about that. He can help you. Trust Mario and the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. Okay, you know what? I'm going to call Dad early because I only got like 5 minutes. And if I get going down my next thread of stories, well, then I'm going to lose track. And if it gets to be 1 minute after, he's going to be like, hey, why are you late? He doesn't seem to mind when I call early. So that's what I'll do. I'll call him. Again, reach out, Eric at ericzaneshow.com if you have any questions on Dear Media. Let me see what we got in here. I know Tyler sent one. Thank you, buddy. Tom, where you been, buddy? I haven't seen your name in quite a while. Oh, wow, this is great. Okay, looking forward to that. They got a question about baby having. Tom's wife is pregnant. Congratulations. Hello, I can't hear you, guy.
Good morning.
Hey, Dad, how are you?
I'm fine. How about yourself? I have a question before you go on.
Well, we're on. We're on now. So,
are we on the air right now?
Yeah.
All right, then I can't ask you the question. So.
Okay. Yeah.
Then somehow at the end of it, if you can, I have a question I want to ask.
Yeah.
So.
I'll call you back when I get done podcasting. How does that sound?
That's all right.
Hey, don't worry about not going to the funeral. You know, I don't want you.
Yeah, I'm really sad that I can't.
No, I don't want you at risk. You got to be, stay at the house.
Oh, I'm going to do that, honey.
Yeah, that's important. You know, I mean, we got this, and
but I do want to honor Diana, and
Well, she was very happy that you guys called her. Thank you for that.
Oh my God. What else?
Yeah. So, all right. Yeah, we're just kind of putting that all into, getting our ducks in a row, for lack of a better term. And,
right.
and so that'll be tomorrow. And I guess they're going to have a little get together after. I gotta jump right after that. So Diane and I are still in the divide and conquer mode, but I'll be bringing my.
Is that going to be safe for you guys being all together like that?
Well, they, at that funeral home, it's massive. And so there is plenty of room. There can only be 10 people in the room, and then everybody else has to be spread out in other rooms. But there's
of course you'll be wearing masks, right?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Okay.
That's the thing to do. You got to wear a mask.
All right.
Oops.
It's so cluttered up lately. I had questions about that, Oh, has he already been cremated?
No. Hey, hold on a quick second.
All right.
Hold on. Okay. So this stupid thing is not working, Dad. So hang on. I apologize. I've got kind of an old school setup today, but okay, I'm back.
All right.
Embarrassing.
Now, has David been cremated already?
No, he's going to be laid out like a funeral that you might,
okay.
And then after he will be cremated.
Okay.
And then Diana is bringing the remains to the house, and then it's going to be buried at some point in the future.
The remains.
Yes, the ashes.
Yeah. Well, I think. Maybe she ought to keep some of it, as a display.
Yeah, they are. They're having like a piece. It's like a locket, and you keep some of the ashes in a locket, and then it's going to be worn around Kevin's neck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That really is dear to me that this man had no means to get a medical attention because he did not have to die. I know it. Yeah, I spoke with you a little bit about that yesterday, and it is a sobering reminder that you must visit a physician once a year to be checked up, and if you're not regularly, so you're a walking time bomb otherwise, because everybody's going to have something. Kind of like you could have something happen to them that isn't really a problem unless you leave it alone and don't pay attention to it, Oh, my God, yes.
So I didn't share with the audience the evidence of a medical issue that I told you about yesterday, but I did say that there was definitely something going on there, and I didn't want to give too much information, But
you don't need to tell me. I'm already aware of that because you and I talked about it.
Right. So, but it's just it's really, it did not have to happen, and
no, God, no.
That really has Diana mixed up, Dad, because she's like, half of my family could still be alive if they'd go to the doctor.
I know. And no, I'm under nice, beautiful care, so thank God for having the means of doing it,
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. So
no, that's sad. That really is sad.
Absolutely.
That poor kid really didn't have a chance in life all these years.
I take it back. He loved his life. He enjoyed what he did, and he kind of just liked to hang out. I had talked about that before, and I think he was happy. He just got sick.
Yeah.
All right,
well,
Dad.
It's been many, many years since I've seen him or talked with him. So, but what I knew of him is a very docile, nice young man.
Yep. Really bright. Loved politics for some reason. He loved talking politics. He loved music. His favorite band was Cheap Trick. He just a really, really sweet guy. So,
and he read quite a bit.
Yeah. Really, really well read, and he will be missed. He will definitely be missed. But silver lining, I really like the idea of Diana connecting with her brother Kevin. I mean, he is now part of our family. We're making that adjustment, and
of course.
And Kevin needs some care. I mean, there's no question. I mean, Kevin has a couple things going on that make it that he doesn't need constant care, but he does need someone to help him. And so I think he's going to thrive here because I don't think he was thriving in his last family setup when he lived with Dave. But that was his choice. Now he's ours, and I think he's gonna do awesome.
No, I commend you two together because you guys are really into the family situations. You two have done so many things together, including your own children. I'm proud of you guys.
Oh, thanks, Dad. It's the very least we could do. You realize that there could at some point in time, I might have like all these different family members from different families. So it could be like maybe you and Kevin sharing a room, and then I got my mom downstairs, and you guys, who knows?
Hey, life is very strange. That's right. You don't know what's coming.
All right, Dad, I got some questions for you. I'm ready to go if you are.
I am. I'm all set.
All right. Of course, Dear Meathead brought to you by JM Synthetics, online at jmsynthetics.com. Tom,
yes, sir.
Tom is writing in, and he wrote, Hey, Ruben, my wife is pregnant with our second child.
Congratulations.
He says, I would like some advice that you can give a family preparing for this event. We are excited, and baby number 2 is due in January. Is it that much of a change, Meathead? If you can embellish your wisdom and experience, I'm sure I will avoid paying the piper and the handbasket to hell. Thanks, Tom.
Well, I don't know. Am I on to go on?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. I don't know. What I have to say is exactly what you're looking for, but a child to me is God's gift. Yep. It's the most expensive gift you can ever get in your lifetime. Embellish that and love that child because you will. I know that.
Yes.
And then in their growing years, some things will change because the child develops opinions of his own, and he wants to do things his way and all that.
Yeah.
Do not jump the gun to punish them for things that they do. Don't. I learned that by my own experiences.
Okay.
But listen to them and then think about it before you pass on harsh punishment or judgment.
Okay, yeah, I don't think he's going that far down the road. I think he's, the kid's only going to be a couple of days old. I think he's talking about like the immediate.
I know that.
Immediate.
I know that. But right now, all you can do is cuddle up with that child.
Yeah.
And sing a lot of lullabies.
Yeah, Tom, don't spank the infant, is what he's saying.
Yes. Absolutely.
Hang on, Dad. I'm gonna recap here. I want to make sure. You said the child is the most expensive gift God can give you.
Yes. Free.
Yeah. And the other key thing is don't jump the gun to punish.
Yes.
All right. Got it.
Study it first before you make a decision.
Yeah. Okay, definitely. Now, hey, Dad, I'm right there with you. I had jumped the gun to punish a time or two, but sometimes you got to wring their neck. So if it happens, it happens. Don't beat yourself up over it.
Well, yes, you're right.
All right. Let's see. Tyler writes in, and let's see. He wrote, "Dear Meathead, I am a big fan, of Meathead's Prisoner Island."
Hey, my guy.
And then he says, what do you think about another island for people who have COVID? After they have recovered and they can no longer infect others, they may return home. What are your thoughts on COVID Island?
Actually, I never thought about that, but I'm not so sure that's a good idea because COVID with COVID living together, they're not going to heal.
Yeah.
So I think they should have a institution that they all go there strictly for treatment.
All right, so the COVID institution is what you're suggesting.
Yes, that physicians there, that they treat only people the possibility of having this disease or illness.
I think they already have those, Dad. They're called hospitals. Yeah.
It's just a hospital alone is not good enough because there's other people that are involved.
Oh, okay, I got you.
It's got to be strictly people that are infected with the disease.
Do you think that the doctors who are treating them, they should be infected with COVID too?
Well, no, hopefully not, but they should be protected to give help to those people that have got the disease.
Aha. All right.
So I don't know how they're going to do that. I'm not that intelligent about that department. So
okay, Dad,
But that's a good idea.
Yeah, COVID Island. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Oh, perfect.
We know you love the island. I still keep saying I'm going to put that on a T-shirt. Put them on the island.
Yeah. Oh my! The criminals got to be put away in the island.
Okay.
Let them kill each other.
Dad, what type of criminals go on the island? What if you? I mean, do you have to be like a murderer, or do you have to be like what type of criminals would you put on the island?
Definitely the hand-toting, gun-toting people that got the guns that they illegally purchase and all that, and they go out there and shoot the people and all that. Anyone that kills someone, that is, for instance, if someone is attacking me and I can kill them to save my life, I will do that.
Yeah. But they're like,
But I'm talking about the jerks that go around gun-toting, shooting. Every night I listen to the news, one or two people got shot up. Young babies got killed.
Yeah, I know. It's awful. It's a terrible thing.
So this is the one thing that I have against is people that own guns. People should not own handguns.
Well, what about like people who responsibly own the weaponry? Like I have.
That's okay.
I have handguns.
Okay, that's all right.
Okay.
But how do you prove that?
Well, you gotta have a license.
Hey, listen, I've got a handgun in my house that's been there for 20-some years.
Yeah.
It hasn't even really been moved. A couple of times we took it up north to shut some targets or something.
I know it.
It hasn't even moved. It's not even loading anymore.
Right.
So that's good.
Yeah. So what are you saying? Are you saying?
I'm saying you can own a gun provided your character that do what I do.
Okay, so just keep it in a closet is what you're saying. Don't like
Yeah,
keep
right.
it in.
I don't want to protect myself with a gun.
No.
If someone broke in my house and came out and I have no access to the gun,
yeah,
I have to deal with what's coming.
So you're just saying you're just gonna try to use
I have to either get killed,
yeah,
or talk the guy out of it.
You're gonna have a conversation with him. You're gonna, you know what you should say to the guy if he's got you in his sights, he's got the gun. You got to say, hey, you're gonna go to the island.
Right. I'm not going to say that. No. First, I got to talk him out of it to get rid of that gun.
Okay. All right. So you're going to have to charm him, is what you're saying.
Something like that. Yes.
Okay. All right. So let's write that down. Don't use
guns are killers. That's all there is to it.
Don't use a gun to defend yourself. Use your charm.
Good. You might die in the process, but
okay. Dad,
my wife is having a good time with me right now.
Let me tell you, this is what we love about you, because you say what's on your mind. These people, this is what they pay for. They want you to do this. So, all right.
I think it'll work.
Okay. Charm over guns.
Yes.
Kevin in Muskegon, Michigan writes, "Dear Meathead, have you ever gone back to Zargandeh, where you grew up, Zargandeh, Iran?"
No, I have not, and I really, for the longest time, I've had no desires. But for the sake of seeing, because it's totally changed. They tell me it's a city now.
Yeah, it's built up.
A little village of maybe 1,000 people turned into a huge city. I would definitely like to see that, provided the people that I deal with, that I visit, would accept me as I am instead of an American.
Okay, yeah,
because they're hatred. Those people are angry people for some reason or other. If you only saw them during their religious ceremony, when they're slice their heads with knives.
Right, back in the day. Right, yeah, that was
for Muhammad. These are barbaric type of situation.
You would be able to blend in, though. I mean, no offense, but you look like you belong there. I mean,
oh well. Hey.
So, but as long as you don't, speak, because then you would struggle with the language, because it's been a long.
I can speak it.
Yeah.
But the words don't easily come to my mind.
Yeah, all right. There you go. So there you go. He wanted to know.
Almost 100 years since I've been here,
Absolutely. It's been a long time. Okay, next. Kent dropped the E, add a U. He writes, "Hey, guy, my wife has mentioned multiple times that she wants to get a boob job." Now,
a what boob job? Okay.
Yeah. He says, I'm perfectly happy with the way that my wife is, and I don't want her to do it. Should I just let her get one so she's happy, or should I keep telling her I love her the way she is and she doesn't need any improvements? Signed, Kent.
Ken, how you doing? But that's a subject that really requires some studying as far as that goes. But it takes your personal feelings with it. I think she wants to have it. Simple as that.
Well, yeah, that's what she said.
And whether you're pleased with it or not is not the issue.
Yeah.
She knows that she is a happy person with you, with the way you're handling it and so forth. But this is something that she would like to have it.
Yeah.
I think you ought to let her have it without really putting up a lot of fuss.
Okay.
It's a decision, her desire. So there's nothing you can do to stop her as far as that goes. But if she's stopping, it's because she's honoring your wish. Now, why don't you honor her wish?
Okay, yeah, hey man, that's the good line right there. Honor her wish. I think that's sage advice. You got to keep her happy,
Yes. Oh. And then, in the process, you might end up really loving it.
Yes, absolutely. Just to recap, Dad, I wrote down the line, let her have the boobs without putting up a fuss.
Yeah.
All right. Very good.
You're not missing anything, really. You're gaining, I think, something.
Yeah, I think you definitely are gaining something. A couple of cup sizes.
Gaining bigger boobs.
Yes. Okay. Very good. All right. There you go. There you go, Kent. Hopefully that works out. Let's see if we got anything else on Dear Meathead.
Can't do it. Don't disappoint her.
Yes. So there you go, Kent. Good luck with that. I'm sure it'll work out. If you need a doctor that does it, I know of a good one. You can reach out to me, and I'll point you in the right direction. You probably already have that taken care of. All
Sure.
right, Dad, I'm about out of questions, out of time, and out of talent. Is there anything you want to conclude with? Anything on your mind at all?
What's on my mind is I want all the audience simply, if they have any kind of issues that is a harmful issue, but they're kind of catering to it with the family and all that, set it aside and create something that has nothing but affection and love and care.
Okay, yeah.
Make that as your motto and live your life with harmony in the family.
All right. That sounds wonderful. It's a lot of words. It sounds good to me, though.
Hey, it's a winner.
Hey, real quick, are you starting to harvest the garden yet? Are we getting to that point with the garden?
Oh, yeah. In fact, we pulled some out and Joan got so mad, was pitching them all out, pulling out my roots and throwing them away so I can put it away in the trash.
Wait a minute. You just pull them out of the ground and throw it away?
But there are so many of them. We got beans galore.
Oh, so the
Beans, there was a squash.
And the squash. Huge one. We sometimes miss them because the leaves are too big, and they turn in humongous sizes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I actually fried up some of those zucchinis that you gave me. They were really good.
Oh, yeah. Well, we got a lot of that, so... But we're working at, I guess we're in the process of start kind of weeding it out,
All right. Well, I'm going to come see you before too long. We'll do that again. That was a lot of fun.
All right.
And
best wishes to you and your family on the situation that you have, and my audience. I wish them all well.
Dad, they love you, and thanks again for joining us. And your dog O'Neill misses you, man.
Oh, my God, bring her down.
Yes. Okay, Dad. I'll talk to you and Joanne first. I'll call you when I get done, okay? Because I know you said you wanted to say something.
Well?
Yeah. So, yeah, you said you wanted to talk to me off the air. So I'll call you when I get done, okay?
You know what?
What?
Yeah, I actually... Okay, do that.
Okay. All right, I will.
All right.
Okay, I love you.
I love you too, honey.
Okay, honey.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Okay, see ya. There you go, Dear Meathead. He, last week, apparently, he set a record for saying the word honey to me. Jason Mays told me that. He goes, I think your dad said honey like 15 times. Dear Meathead brought to you by JM Synthetics. I don't know if you agree with me, but I think the most fun is because you'll see me, I'll grab the keyboard and I'll start to write things that I think sound like something Yogi Berra would say. And then, so, that's a meatheadism. So then saying the meatheadism back to him, and there's literally thousands of them, it's whatever he says is a meatheadism. And then Joanne hears it, and then she busts out laughing because when she hears it said, like, from not him, oh, my God. So much fun. All right, there you go. I think it was pretty sharp today. It was actually very, very sharp. I've talked about this before that I'm like, I don't know how much longer I can do it. Dear Meathead, but he was very, very sharp, so that's good. I'm happy that he's feeling well. Okay, thanks for the input and thanks for the questions. All right, so this is the tale of this dude in Tanzania who, in the country of Tanzania, they said, all right, a Tanzanite is only found within this country. And they had put out like a bounty to like the civilians. If you come across any Tanzanite, which I'm not sure, maybe I'll learn in the story what they use it for, they will pay big money. Okay, this is a gemstone. And so, people start digging in their backyard looking for some tanzanite. If you find it, the government will pay you for it. So, all right, great. Well, this one dude is a miner. Saninu Lazir, a 52-year-old man. He actually works in the mining industry. And so he's got some knowledge how to do this. He had already discovered enough tanzanite to make him a millionaire. So he's already a millionaire. And in the image I see of this dude, Saninu Lazir, he's holding like a big-ass piece of this tanzanite, one of the rarest gemstones on Earth, okay? And his initial find, I guess years ago, he had been given millions of dollars for it. And one thing stood out here in the story that made me think like, well, you know what? I don't know how far that money is going to go. I have a feeling this guy is in the poorhouse despite finding the tanzanite. And if you're him, you're like, thank God I found it. He's done it again. He recently discovered the rare dark violet blue tanzanite gem weighing 14 pounds. It's only found in northern Tanzania, and is valued based on its rarity, color, and clarity. It was valued at 4.7 billion Tanzanian shillings, which works out to $2 million, according to the BBC, and is among the dwindling number of tanzanite left in the world. Lazir, who has 30 kids, told the BBC on Monday that he plans to use the money to build a school. Buy a van to get your kids to and fro. Build a school for what? All of your kids? Build a school and a health facility in his Simanjiro district community in the northern Manaira region. He also said his earnings would not change his lifestyle and plans to continue caring for his 2,000 cows. All right, so I can't imagine what his lifestyle was like with 30 kids and 2,000 cows. Hell, if you have $2 million and 30 kids and 2,000 cows, if you break that down per kid, per cow, per life, I don't think that is that much. He's like, God, we got to go find more. He became a millionaire in June when he found the two largest tanzanite stones ever unearthed in the country. The gemstones were also discovered in Manaira, surrounded by a government perimeter meant to control cross-border smuggling of precious gemstones. I'm amazed that they even gave him money. It seems to me like in this part of the world, aren't a lot of these countries governed by warlords? You'd think that they'd offer that up and then just strong arm him out of it. The president of Tanzania, John Magufuli, congratulated Lazir on live television following his initial findings, and the government paid him the 7.74 billion Tanzanian shillings, or $3.35 million. The pair of violet blue gemstones weighed 20 pounds and 11 pounds. According to the Ministry of Minerals, you say. They set up trading centers around the country for small-scale miners who often mine by hand to sell their gems and gold to the government. Selling to the government means there are no shortcuts. They are transparent, Lazir said. Oh, they had to have made him say that. What government is transparent, let alone that one? Holy cow. He said that at a ceremony in the northern Myrina mine, according to the BBC. So this guy has all this money now because he dug up this big-ass rock, and I don't even know what they use that for. Does that... I guess I need to look that up. Okay, thanks to Mike Ball for sending the story about the guy. This is your guy who doesn't know how to behave because of a mask. All right. I mean, all we have to do basically every day is look at the headlines, and there is someone new who is doing something terrible. Either smacking the shit out of somebody, acting like an asshole, getting in a cop's face, wrecking store displays. But this one, holy cow. Guy in Pennsylvania goes into the cigar store. All he wants to do is get a couple of cigars. Per usual, no mask, no sale. He walks in anyway. They go, we can't sell to you. He says, why? He goes, because you got to have a mask on. Go get your mask, and we'll start over. He wants the cigars. They say, well, we're not going to sell them to you. He says, well, I'm putting my foot down. I don't believe in this shit. And the guy says, I don't either, but it's the rule. So, I can get in big trouble. So will you please just go get a mask? And then I can sell you these cigars. At that point, the guy's at a crossroads. He can either act like an asshole or just go get the mask and then you can get the cigars. I can even understand if he bitches a little bit and says, we got to fight this, and then leaves in a huff. Okay, I get it. At this stage of the game, I understand. But instead, he grabbed a couple of cigars and left the store without paying for it. Now we've got a problem. They follow him out. They're yelling at him. He gets into the car, pulls out a gun, and starts shooting it towards the store, in the direction of the store. There's a guy outside, a bystander, watching it all happen. Well, this gets much, much worse. I'll just read you the story from NBC News. A man in Pennsylvania opened fire last week on a Bethlehem, PA cigar store employee after refusing to wear a mask. The next day, cops said, he shot at cops who stopped him near his home. He gets out of the car and pulls out an AK-47 and starts shooting at the cops. Adam Zaborowski, 35, of Slatington, PA, entered Cigars International, about 70 miles north of Philly in Bethlehem Township. It was just before noon on Friday. No mask. They're like, come on, man. He wouldn't abide by the rules. Like I said, he was furious about that. They even offered to serve him curbside. You don't have to wear the mask, but we got to sell it to you outside of the store. Nope. He exited, grabbed his handgun, firing it in the air once like Yosemite Sam, and then twice at an employee who confronted him outside. Another patron was sitting out there in the direction that he fired. So amazingly, nobody got shot there. He took off. Police said he was identified by investigators and charged with attempted murder, aggravated assault, robbery, and reckless endangerment. Quote, due to prior offenses, he was also charged with persons prohibited to possess a firearm. So you shouldn't even have had a gun, his stupid ass. So a day passes. Saturday, it's 24 hours later. Cops know where he is, and the local police and 2 state troopers stopped the guy while he was driving. Throws open the door, grabs the AK, and starts shooting at the cops. It's like a movie. They swing open the doors. They're like, the bullets are hitting the car. Tires are going flat. Steam rolling off the front of the car. Cops return fire. They hit the idiot. Shot the guy. He was. They had to fly him to a hospital. One cop suffered a minor injury. No troopers were hurt. His attorney, so basically what started out is, I'm going to go in and get a cigar, in 24 hours has turned to him shooting randomly at people outside of the store, shooting at the cops, hurting one of them gets hurt somehow. He gets hit with a bullet. They have to fly him to the hospital, and he has to be, they had surgery to save his life. 22 charges, felony charges against this guy over a mask. You know, this is probably going to happen at any one point in time, maybe not this moment, but when you have somebody who's this unbalanced and you throw something into the mix like a pandemic and the government telling you to wear a mask, this is what happens. So basically, because of the mask rule, we have weeded out an animal. So win-win, in my opinion. His attorney said his client is in the hospital recovering from gunshot wounds to his leg and ass. Zabrowski faces 22 charges related to the incident in Slatington, including attempted homicide, aggravated assault, and robbery. $1 million bond. He had lost his job because of the coronavirus pandemic and had recently lost custody of his child. Well, good. The job thing could have just been because they were short-staffed, but thank God you lost custody of your kids. Not a defense or excuse, but he had stressors going on in his life, Waldron said. A lot of people have stress, and some handle it better than others. Yeah, what a pussy. What type of... Who's the type of piece of shit that when something bad happens, they just freak out? Seriously, what is wrong with people? My God. It's a shame we have to put him on an island. Put that guy on an island. No, say no to gun violence. All right. I've got more coming up, including Matt Stafford and his wife is speaking out about this nonsense. What a shit show this was about Matt Stafford and COVID-19. And the coach of the TCU Horned Frogs, Gary Patterson, is in deep caca. That coming up. I think I'll reach out to the Queen of the Forest, too. Actually, you know what? I don't want to. Knowing my luck, it won't work, but let's get an update from her. I know that one guy is like, I don't like her voice. What? Come on, don't let me down. What are you doing? If she doesn't pick up right away, it usually never works. All right. Thanks to Horizon Hydroponics. I did a live video yesterday at the Alpine store with John from Horizon Hydroponics. Hydroponics, that is HORIZEN hydroponics.com. Okay? You got a store on Alpine and Grand Rapids. You've got Byron Center, the growers outlet, Kalamazoo, and Lansing. And John said that this is the time of year. It's called transition time. So some of you might be growing, and because of the sunlight diminishing, now your blooms are going to start to get big. We're talking cannabis here. So there's some great products that they have at Horizon Hydroponics to make your blooms the biggest and the best. Now, I'm acting like I know what I'm talking about, but I'm just ripping off what John taught me yesterday. This is the time when this happens, okay? So whether you're growing it indoors or outdoors, because in the great state of Michigan, you can do this. And in a lot of our great states across the land, you can do this now. Unbelievable. You need to have the right stuff to keep those plants, nourished. And you can get it at Horizon Hydroponics online at horizonhydroponics.com. At checkout, use the coupon code ZaneShow, and you will save 10%. So if you buy it online, use Zane Show at checkout. You'll save some money, and if your order is $250 or more, you can get free shipping. Or some of you even just order it online and then you go pick it up. That's cool too. Or just go in and buy it when you're there. They're a great group. You got to wear a mask when you go in, and they are awesome. So thank you to Horizon Hydroponics. I've got the Body Shop in Coopersville, Michigan. They are repairing RVs, campers, travel trailers, all those things. When you crack them up when you're out on the road, if that happens, they can fix it. Oh, hey, how are you? What are you doing?
We're at the store getting stuff for the visitation and stuff.
All right, I won't bother. I just want to call and say hi. Everybody says hi.
Hi, so everybody I said hi.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's it like at the store? Everything good?
Yeah, not too busy right now.
All right, I won't keep you.
Okay, honey.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye-bye. We're into the forest real quick. Didn't want to bug her too much. She's walking around. Metalworks Body Shop in Coopersville. If you need more info about them, go to my website, ericzaneshow.com. Click on their logo in the top sponsor scroll. It'll take you to their Facebook page. They also have a great website, metalworksbodyshop.com. And they can also repair your car or your boat, but they like me most to talk about the RV, the campers and RV repair. So they're the one company in West Michigan that does that. Specialized work at Metalworks Body Shop. The dogs here that are here today O'Neill is brought to you by Irvine's Auto Repair, and Bruce is brought to you by Grand Rapids Hybrid. If Benny were in here, he'd be brought to you by A&D Cleaning. Everything sponsored on this show. Everything. Fat Stacks. We've got a party coming up on August 21st at Great Legs Winery, Brewery, Distillery. Today is the day that I'm going to put out the invite for the Great Legs event and for the TC Paintball event. Respond to the invite. It's going to be a great time at Great Legs. Looking forward to seeing all of you there in Holland, Michigan, on Lakewood Boulevard, just east of US 31. Thank you to Great Legs Winery, Brewery, Distillery. All right. So, with COVID and sports, the story that's kind of gaining steam is what to do with seasons and teams when the whole team gets wiped out with COVID. St. Louis Cardinals are going through it right now. Before them, it was the Marlins, the Phillies. Games getting canceled left and right. How are they going to make these up? It's all sorts of problems. And then the idea that Matt Stafford, the quarterback of the Detroit Lions, the biggest name in football to be put on the COVID list, the injured reserve, if you will. So, okay, everybody's like, oh, shit. Of course, leave it to the Lions to get a guy who that's so lion-like to have their best player be affected by the virus. Well, he doesn't have the virus. He never had the virus. And what's going on here? Well, he had 5 tests done on him. And I'm like, does that mean they get tested like every single day? Every player gets tested? Because that's a lot of testing to be done. And I don't know why they tested him so much. Maybe that's part of the protocol. But 5 tests on Stafford. And then they gave him like another test. And they said, oh, you got COVID. And he's like, what? Yeah, those, since the last test, maybe you were exposed, but you have it. So they put him on that list. And then the story comes down, no, he doesn't have it. That was what's known as a false positive. It's not right. Okay, so now he's not on the COVID list. To me, that story ends there. I don't understand why it happened, but now his wife is making a big stink about it. And I'm looking at a picture at her right now. She's sitting. These two might be the most handsome and beautiful couple I've ever seen. Holy cow! I mean, he's got these like soft features and these handsome man eyes, and she is a absolute darling. I have trouble being annoyed with her rant yesterday, but I am a little annoyed with it. I don't know why. Matt Stafford's wife, who she herself has had health problems. She's a cancer survivor, so thank God for that. But I'm a little annoyed with this rant that she went on. She's ripping the league. And I don't know, maybe I'm the only one getting it wrong here, but she says, I blame the NFL. I blame the NFL for not holding themselves accountable. She went off on the league over the false positive, saying the improper diagnosis made her life a nightmare the past few days. Was it really a nightmare? I always hate it when people who are worth millions of dollars say that their life is a nightmare. Because at the end of the day, you can always just go, yeah, that was a nightmare what happened, but I've got $15 million in my bank account. Is it really a nightmare? Is it really that terrible what I'm about to describe to you that happened to Kelly Stafford? I have been losing my mind because how my family has been treated since my husband was put on COVID IR, Kelly Stafford said. Even after we knew it was a false positive. Our school told us they were not allowed back. I was approached in a grocery store and told I was endangering others. All right, time out. When you were in the grocery store, had you been told that it was a false positive? I think so, and I sure hope so, because if you were in the grocery store under the impression that your husband had COVID because the 6th test came back positive, what the hell are you doing in a store, lady? I was told I was endangering others. My kids were harassed and kicked off a playground. I was told I needed to wait in my car when trying to pick up food. And people closest to us had to get tested just so that they could go back to work. And that's just to name a few things. Look, lady, this is new. And it's going to be kind of messy at times. So, all right, it ain't perfect. But I don't know if you're helping anything by going this route, you know? Seriously. She believes it's all the NFL's fault. I don't know. Who knows? I think it's just a disease, and things like this happen from time to time. This should be perfect. This should be 100. This is not her saying that. This is me doing an impression of her. This should all be perfect. It should not be a problem. We should have this all taken care of every step of the way. We shouldn't be acting like this is a new disease. No, it is. She says she believes it's all the NFL's fault, saying league officials should have been more sure of Stafford's diagnosis before putting him on Detroit's COVID IR list. Well, look, the test came back positive, and then I guess they found out, no, it's not. So I don't know what you want anybody to tell you, lady. It happens. Maybe we should be absolutely positive a person has COVID before releasing that info to the world. You know, I actually kind of agree with that. I think that is a fair thing to say. I'm sharing our experience because I don't want it happening to any other family that plays for this league. Oh, woe is you. It's so terrible. I was told that I had to stay in my car. Oh, no. I was told that I was endangering others because people thought I may have had it. Well, sorry. The Lions said in a statement, Stafford took 6 tests in the last week. 5 were negative, with 1 turning up as a false positive. The team made it crystal clear he does not have COVID-19, never has had COVID-19, and the test in question was a false positive. The team added also all of Matthew's family have been tested, and everyone is negative. All right. So there you go, lady. Sorry that happened. She blew off some steam. Kind of look, if you're Matt Stafford, I think you're more like, yeah, let's just be quiet. Let's just not make a stink about everything. We've got $15 million in the bank. It's going to be okay. No big deal. Nobody got hurt. I'm back to playing football. I don't know how big of a nightmare it really is. Let's save the complaining maybe for people who actually can complain about something that's real. Not the end of the world. Car got off the rails in the weeds. No big deal. Let it go. Let it go. The head football coach of the TCU Horned Frogs is a dude by the name of Gary Patterson. You don't know him? I'd never heard of the dude. That's a pretty big-time program, but I'm not the biggest fan of knowing who these people are. If I find out who you are, you've either done something fantastic that's being talked about or you've done something terrible. It's definitely not fantastic. I would be disappointed if somebody listening to the story said, what he did is fantastic. Gary Patterson's kind of a hothead. And when he's tromping around the locker room, this fat, ugly white man apparently drops the N-word with the hard R and then also with the A at the end. He says that. Now, to me, white guy saying both of those, with the A, he's trying to be playful. If you use that R, oh my God, that is of the two, both are unacceptable. But if you use the R, that is really, really, really strong. And holy shit, if this guy in this day and age does not get canceled for this and fired, it's a freaking miracle. Okay? Supposedly, this dude's a legendary football coach. That's what the article says in TMC Sports. Legendary football coach Gary Patterson apologizing for using the N-word, saying Tuesday his use of the slur was unacceptable. You know, if you're the guy who drops it that carelessly, and then you say that you're sorry and it's unacceptable, you're only saying that because you got caught. The only thing you can say is, yeah, I use that word, and if I apologize for it, I'm also saying sorry, but I'm only apologizing because I got caught, and I don't want to try to bullshit my way through this. That, to me, is sounds better than trying to act like you're actually sad, okay? Yeah, I use that word. I'm not going to use it anymore. I shouldn't have used it, but I'm not going to act like I'm really sad. Okay, I'm only saying it's only because I got caught. That being honest, actually, I want someone to refreshingly be honest, saying, yeah, I'm an idiot. I use that word. Or even go say, yeah, I'm going to continue to use it, and then use it at the podium. Because everybody knows you're a scumbag who uses shitty language like that. So you need to actually, in your apology, say, I apologize that the word got out about me. I'm going to continue to use words like that going forward. Thank you. Good day. TCU's head coach did not elaborate on why he said the word, only adding, I have always encouraged our players to do better and be better. I hate that. Those are buzzwords to me. Do better and be better. You got to do better. I've always encouraged our players to do that, and I must live by the same standards. Why do you even give this guy the chance to speak? Just get him out of there. He was accused on Monday of saying the word during a dispute with a Horned Frog linebacker at a team workout over the weekend. In the accusation, redshirt freshman Dylan Jordan claims he was fighting with Patterson during the practice. They were like bitching at each other. When the coach told him, you're a fucking brat. I'll send you back to Pitt, referring to Dylan Jordan's hometown of Pittsburgh, Kansas. Okay? Quote from Dylan Jordan. Quote, I said, for what? I ain't did nothing. Jordan actually wrote it like that. He typed out, for what? I ain't did nothing. All right. Jordan said, quote, he followed with, you've been saying N-word in the meeting room. So basically, Jordan had been thinking, the Dylan Jordan had been in his brain. Coach was yelling at him for one thing. Jordan said, for what? I ain't did nothing. And then he said, you've been saying N-words in the meeting room. And wait a second. Is that? Yeah, so Jordan said that about the coach. And when he typed it N asterisk, 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 AS, not the hard R. Jordan said he and other TCU players refused to show up to practice on Monday over the coach's use of the word, adding, Patterson came to the locker room and said, quote, I wasn't calling him a N with the hard R. So, this is all weird. Jordan continued, quote, this behavior is not okay now or ever, and there needs to be repercussions to these actions. So it's not completely clear what's going on here. Another TCU player, senior tight end, Ardavius Lynn, said Patterson did, in fact, say the slur, but added Patterson never directed it at Jordan or anyone else. So he never said, and that's his quote, you N-word with a hard R or N-word with an A was never stated to anyone or never said, Lynn said. Coach P was trying to get Dylan to stop saying the word, period. Huh. Well, that's weird. Patterson said in a statement Tuesday, I met with our seniors and leadership council last night about how we move forward as team together. We are committed as individuals and as programs to fighting racial injustice of any kind. So, wait a minute. Maybe I'm misunderstanding this, because I initially went into the story thinking that Gary Patterson used the word like flippantly. But from what they're saying is Patterson was not happy, from what I understand, with another player saying it and said, you got to stop saying, and then he would say the word, you know? So he's not really directing it at anyone. He just said, hey, you have to stop saying that. So I guess what it appeared, because this is another player saying that senior tight end, I'm going to read it again. Artavius Lynn said Patterson did, in fact, say the slur, but added Patterson never directed it at Jordan or anyone else. Quote, you N-word or you N-word with an A was never stated to anyone or never said. Lynn said Coach P was trying to get Dylan to stop saying the word. Well, that's different. That's way different. Well, shit, man. They buried the lead. No, you shouldn't use. Okay, I need to back this up here. He did not use the word in a way that is like you would expect someone who's about to get fired using it. He said he was telling another dude, you need to stop saying that word. His mistake was he actually said the word. So now he's in trouble, supposedly, for saying another guy needs to stop. Well, TMZ sucks because they wrote it as TCU's Gary Patterson apologizes for using N-word, ... unacceptable. That headline makes someone believe that he's doing something really sinister and awful, when from after you get into the article, that's not at all what happened. So shit, that's actually good news. I'm glad, because that bums me out when I hear about people like this guy who's dealing with a bunch of young people on the team, and he's using language like that. So again, going forward, probably don't want to use it. But at the same time, fuck TMZ Sports for making it seem like Gary Patterson is some freaking leader of the KKK for using that word. That's unbelievable. Okay. This last story I have for you is, oh my God, it really bugs the shit out of me. And it comes to us from the state of Oregon, where wokeness is at an all-time high level. And when I use that term, it's shitty. It's there is nothing positive when someone is trying to make others be woke, because it's gone so far to the other side that it's leading to just terrible things happening. During this whole race thing since George Floyd, there's been a number of things that have happened that some of the things I like, other things I don't. Some of the things that have happened involving race. This is one that I don't like, that is changing. And I find it completely ridiculous. And I'll get into it and explain to you what is going on here. It involves the film Kindergarten Cop. That's right. The silly Arnold Schwarzenegger comedy cop movie from 1990. Who knew that this film could have such ramifications? This is absolute horseshit. And I'll get to that coming up in just a bit. First off, though, sponsor of the show is Baldwin Ace Hardware. Okay? They are in the Northland of Michigan, on the edge of the Manistee National Forest. Baldwin Ace Hardware. Head over there. If you're going up north, don't bring your stuff with you from the big box store. Go help out this great local business that supports the show, Baldwin Ace Hardware. Okay? Thank you to them. They have everything you need, including fishing equipment. If you're going up north, going to go fishing, they have everything at the pro shop there inside of Baldwin Ace Hardware. You would expect that in shit kicker land. Grills, charcoal, paint, conduit, tools. They have it all at Baldwin Ace Hardware. I got to get Mike in on a Hockey Heaven podcast, Mike Gilmore, with the boys Pumple and Hickens very soon. All right, so there you go. Thank you to them at Baldwin Ace Hardware. The Kent County Health Department, they're reminding you to cough into your elbow. Wear a mask and be socially distant, even if it's breaking your heart. Wear that mask. I saw my buddy Throat Slash Dale, who is an anti-masker. wearing his mask. Oh, thank you, Dale. He had to do it in order to vote. But Dale is, oh, fuck that, man. I'm not wearing a fucking mask. Fuck that, Zane, man. Kent County Health Department says, please wear a mask. You can get access to their website at accesskent.org/health. There you'll find the locations for all the Kent County COVID testing stations, not to mention information on the WIC program, sexually transmitted infections can be treated, and vaccines for the kids, okay? You can get your kid vaccinated. We're noticing in the Kent County Health Department that vaccinations are way down, less people are coming in, and it has everything to do with the virus. So you need to get your kids vaccinated. That's a big part of my message through the Kent County Health Department. And more coming up with them. I'll be talking with Mary Wazinski in the next couple of weeks about that at the Kent County Health Department. 616-632-7100 is their main switchboard number. And last but not least, my friends at BK. BK. Guns and Stuff. You can reach out to them by going to ericzaneshow.com, click on their logo. It takes you right to their Facebook page. All the great services they provide anywhere in the United States. You know, you can mail your weaponry. There is a way to do that. They've got all the details on how that happens at BK Guns and Stuff. Refurbishing the weaponry, cleaning it, customizing it. They do it all, even firearms transfers at BK Guns and Stuff. I think they have some 22 rounds for sale. Hard to come by. Everybody's buying all the 22 rounds. You can get it at BK Guns and Stuff in the community of Saranac, Michigan. Man, this is ridiculous, the story about the film Kindergarten Cop. A screening of the film was canceled in Oregon because of political correctness. There's a place called the NW Film Center. I'm guessing that's Northwest Film Center, canceled in August 6th. Outdoor screening. They're going to get together with the community because the film where this film center was made, the film Kindergarten Cop was made in this community of Oregon. And since everybody knows that, all the locals know, they get together and they see Kindergarten Cop. You know, you got the extras who were the kids. They've all grown up. So they're going to have a community event where they get together. Outside, lawn chairs, screen, projector, popcorn maker, some sodas, maybe roast some marshmallows, fundraiser, fellowship, and see the film Kindergarten Cop, which was made just down the road at the school. Schwarzenegger plays a cop who's trying to stop this drug dealer, okay? And the drug dealer's kid is in kindergarten. So there's this one undercover cop is going to be in the school to keep an eye on the kid or something like that. I think I'm getting the plot of this right. And Schwarzenegger ends up having to take over to take care of the kids. And it's zany and wacky, and he's pushed to the limits with all these kids, you know, and the shenanigans that goes on. It's a typical stupid movie. By the way, it only costs like $26 million to make this stupid thing, and I think it grossed like $230 million. Proof positive that people like stupid movies. Anyway, the stupid movie gets made, and then that's it. You know, here we are 27 years later, well, even more than that, 1990. So 30 years later, and they're going to show the screening like they always do. Hold the phone. This is Oregon. Everybody here is woke now, and we're trying to they're trying to cancel everything. Well, let me just read to you. I can't even say this word. The NW Film Center canceled the screening after the film was I'm like Trump. EXCORIATED. Exorciated? No, excoriated on Twitter. You don't need to use that word, whoever the dick is who wrote this article. Just write blasted on Twitter for glorifying, quote, the traumatization of children by police. It was compared to Birth of a Nation and Gone with the Wind. The film had been planned to serve as the kickoff for an event for Cinema Unbound Summer Drive-In movie series at Zedell Yards. That's like the place where this is all happening, you know? I mean, this is really small town shit here. The NWFC chose it for its importance in Oregon filmmaking history, according to a press release. However, their stance quickly changed. They caved following a Saturday tweet storm by crazy, kooky, left-leaning Portland author Lois Levine. So this sick bitch blasts them on Twitter, and like a bunch of pussies, they caved. Levine went on a Twitter rant, 6 tweets long, about how Kindergarten Cop is exploitative and has no comedic or redeeming qualities. Well, that's a matter of opinion, I guess. She also referenced a, quote, school-to-prison pipeline and claimed the police frequently arrest African-American children and throw them in jail. Now, look, lady, I don't know anything about that, but I don't think that you talking about this social issue about children being thrown in jail, and I'm not here to dispute you on that, but what that has to do with the film Kindergarten Cop is ridiculous. She writes, what's so funny about school to prison pipeline? That sounds like a buzz term, school to prison pipeline. That sounds like defund the police, you know, where people just say that shit and assume that everybody knows what that means. I've never heard of the school to prison pipeline. I can figure it out, I guess, by context. But I don't think that a character Arnold Schwarzenegger is playing trying to stop the bad guy by keeping an eye on his kindergarten kid as being the substitute teacher in there. And then there's a love interest, and then they end up catching the bad guy or shooting the bad guy, has anything to do with what this sick bitch is proclaiming. What's so funny about school to prison pipeline? Kindergarten Cop out. Tell at W Film Center there's nothing fun in cops traumatizing kids. So she's telling all her crazy-ass liberal idiot friends to go after the NW Film Center. And they did. So they're not used to this type of tidal wave of shit, so they caved, justifying the bitching that these bunch of assholes did, which empowers them and makes them do it more, and they're going to cancel the next person, too. She says, cops traumatizing kids? Kindergarten Cop? This is sick. National reckoning on over-policing is a weird time to revive Kindergarten Cop. In real life, we are trying to end school-to-prison pipeline. There's nothing entertaining about the presence of police in schools, which feeds the school-to-prison pipeline in which African-American, Latinx, I don't know, I've never heard of that, Latina, she spells it Latinx. I guess that means something when you're woke. And other kids of color are criminalized rather than educated. Levine added, get this, 5 and 6-year-olds are handcuffed and hauled off to jail routinely in this country. No, they're not. No, they're not. You're making that shit up. You're a sick, deranged, psycho bitch who needs to be locked up. You need to be put on the island. I hate her. I now want to now I want all the things that I was saying should be canceled to be brought back. Okay? That's all it takes to make me pissed off and embolden me. You know, here I am in my effort to try to be somewhat on a case-by-case basis not painting with broad strokes. Okay, I honestly don't like it when I do that. But when I see this type of madness, then I'm like, fuck it. No. Now you're pushing me away from something that you kind of pulled me into. Because anybody who's listened to me for any amount of time has seen me kind of think about some things and like, this makes sense. To me, it makes sense to agree with Colin Kaepernick. Okay? But when I see shit like this, I want to run to the store and go get some Uncle Ben's rice. Okay? It makes me want to get the syrup, the Aunt Jemima syrup. And I've been like, yeah, we should change those logos. Now I don't want them changed because of an asshole like this. This is what it does to me. I'm just telling you how it makes me feel. You cannot do this. This is bullshit. 5- and 6-year-olds are handcuffed and hauled off to jail routinely in this country, so we can't show Kindergarten Cop. What? And this criminalizing of children increases dramatically when cops are assigned to work in schools. So she's throwing all these things out that she's come up with, and somehow tying it to this little hometown thing to celebrate the film that was made there. And she thinks that it's engaging to promote these school to prison pipeline. She then compared the movie to Gone with the Wind and Birth of a Nation, claiming it to be inappropriate for families. Those movies were, there was some controversial vibe to them because of the Gone with the Wind in the South and slavery. Birth of a Nation, same thing, I think. I mean, I don't even know what the problem is technically with all of these films. I know a lot of people have been pissed off about them. Yes, Kindergarten Cop is only a movie. So are Birth of a Nation and Gone with the Wind. But we recognize films like those are not good family fun, she continued. These are relics of how pop culture feeds racist assumptions. Kindergarten Cop romanticizes over-policing in the U.S. If I'm the NW film people in Oregon, I'm like, you're right. We're not going to show it. Instead, we're going to show Pulp Fiction. So we're going to watch that film instead because people in Oregon love this movie. It is representative of us here, so we're going to watch Pulp Fiction. In fact, we're going to play the part when Jules and Vincent, shot Marvin in the face, and they had to get the car off the road. And they took it over to Quentin Tarantino's character's house and waited for Harvey Keitel, who's playing the wolf, to show up. And the boys are talking about the coffee, and Tarantino is talking about a certain type of storage facility that the boys have mistaken his home for. And they should play that part like over and over again just to get everybody's hackles up in the film. Hey, all right, we're not going to play that. We're going to play this instead. Fuck you. Holy shit. This is so bad. This is taking people like me who have come around to the way of thinking on a more moderate scope and throw me right back to the right. That's what this is going to do. Now, not really. I mean, I'm not an idiot. But you do this enough, and this pisses people off. So shut the fuck up. If you have Spike Lee, a prominent filmmaker, engaging this discussion and saying things like, Spike Lee spoke out against efforts to ban the Civil War epic and said he has shown Birth of a Nation to his film students at NYU. Well, there you go. If you have Spike Lee, okay, saying, yeah, you can't ban this movie, okay, well, that's all you really need to know, right? If it doesn't bother Spike Lee, seriously, are you going to argue with Spike Lee over this? Hell, if you're leaning right, you just say, hey, look at Spike Lee. He said it's cool. I think that should be seen. He explained, I think that one of the most racist films ever, D.W. Griffith's Birth of a Nation, should be seen. I show that film in my class. I'm a tenured professor at NYU. I show this. The news also comes out 1 month after California Democrats in Orange County demanded that the county's John Wayne Airport be renamed and all likenesses of Wayne be removed from the airport. That one I felt was appropriate. due to racist and bigoted statements made by the American icon decades ago. We talked about that on the show. I think it might have been on the Patreon I talked about it. And then I rehashed it on the free one. If you ever get a chance, go look at what the Duke said back in the day. That one, I was like, nope, you cannot have the Duke. Sorry, you do not pass go. See, that's how I am, man. I'm case by case. And this whole thing about the film Kindergarten Cop is just bullshit. Absolutely ridiculous. Please let me know what you think, okay? I love to go back and look at old emails, and then I read them on future shows. And there's no reason why you need to think that, oh, he's past it, so I don't need to send an email. No, I love that, because then I go back and say, hey, remember we were talking about Kindergarten Cop? So-and-so says this. And then that way we can have a further discussion, kind of keep things going. So, as always, reach out to me on the Green Clean Technologies inbox, Eric at ericzaneshow.com. Okay, hang on a second here. My screen went dark, and I got to get into it with the password. Okay. I'm still doing cameos. It's going to set you back $15, and I want to do one. So reach out to me, cameo.com/Eric Zane. They're a lot of fun. Or on the Cameo app. It's a lot of fun to go to cameo.com/Eric Zane and just watch some of the ones I've done. Gives you an idea of some of my work. They're usually pretty nasty. There was one in particular, some guy who I was roasting. His buddies had me roast him for like his birthday, and I was making fun of him. And Bruce actually took a leak at one point, and I actually held my camera right up to him taking a leak on the Cameo and said, this is what should be done to your face because you're such an idiot. It worked out beautifully. It was a lot of fun. That's the type of stuff you can get from time to time on the on Cameo. If you want to advertise on the show, reach out, Eric at ericzaneshow.com. I'm kind of full right now, but there's always room for more sponsors. Patreon, patreon.com/Eric Zane. I'll be doing more podcasting a little bit later on it. I'm building some new shows. I'm coming up with it right now. I spoke with Ben just yesterday about a new show. We're getting closer to going, exploring that and going down that road. It'll be free first for a few episodes before we go live on Patreon for that. But just so you know, that's coming. I'd love to have you as part of Patreon. That money that you spend on Patreon, the $5 or $10 a month, keeps the lights on for the show. All right, folks, thank you so much for being part of this one. We'll do it tomorrow. Thank you. I take it back. We will have a best of show tomorrow because the funeral is taking place, and then I'll be back live on Friday. And then Saturday, I'm off to California for shows next week from Los Angeles. Oh, my God, what the hell? All right, have a good one, folks. We'll talk to you then. Bye-bye.